What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Maverick Man 101. Looking at a video today from Modern Dating here. She cheated on him with his best friend and got mad that he left. Let's go.
Why'd y'all get divorced?
Because of me. I primarily was the reason. And so
Hold on, tell me about that. Because I don't believe that. Might have been some of you.
I had an emotional affair. And so
And you both
ended
chose
it.
that you couldn't work through an emotional affair after 4 kids.
Yeah, we'd already tried to work through other things.
Okay. Well, I want to separate what you did, have an emotional affair, with a choice to end a marriage. Because you can fall for somebody, you can have deep emotional connection with somebody, and all that. And you can also choose to cut that off and to reimagine and rebuild your marriage if you're both in.
Why is this instantly it wasn't your fault? Why? Because she cries a bit. She said it was her fault. And he is suggesting it's not just her fault for cheating. Why? Usually he's bang on. But when you step outside marriage, you make a unilateral decision about the outcome of the relationship. Emotional affairs are worse. Sometimes he sounds reasonable. Then there is this. I don't agree with this. I mean, I can't blame him for ending it. I believe most people would understand what he did. An affair is still an affair, no matter whether it was physical or.
Yeah, and clearly we didn't hear the whole video clip here from this guy. But it sounds like, to me, if I had to guess, if I had to put some money on it, more than likely was probably somebody that she knew at work. We've talked about this before, guys, about these work husbands, these work relationships, work wifey. They're dangerous. They're dangerous, okay? Because it usually starts as this emotional attachment. Then it just grows, right? Doesn't always go straight to physical when someone, particularly a woman, cheats. So, I mean, look, trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. No, I mean, it's still cheating. Did she still love her husband? Potentially, right? But she still cheated, right? Emotional, physical, whatever it may be, this woman still decided to step outside of her marriage and do what she did.
Emotional, and his reaction was simply a response to what happened. While reading the comments under this video, one in particular caught my attention. It was from a woman who claimed the wife likely cheated because her husband had emotionally neglected her for years. This was the comment. He probably emotionally neglected her for years. The person who wrote this comment tried to shift the focus onto the husband. According to her, the wife cheated only because the husband failed to fulfill his role. But this reasoning makes no sense because she is an adult and should take responsibility for her own actions. He is not to blame for her decision to cheat. This argument is merely an attempt to justify her behavior, but it falls short. Even if what the commenter said is true, it still doesn't justify cheating. If she felt emotionally abandoned, she should have communicated those feelings and worked with him to find a solution. And if she had already expressed her concerns but he made no effort to change or showed no interest in improving things, the answer wasn't to stay and cheat. She should have left the relationship. That would have been the best option, as it would have prevented all the drama they're now dealing with.
My husband is currently packing.
More than likely, my last point on this, if it was emotional, more than likely she already slept with the guy, so it's over. I mean, it's a wrap. And this couple probably been married 7, 8 years, right around the time when it happens, right? So yeah, it's over. It's a wrap, skis.
As it would have prevented all the drama they're now dealing with.
My husband is currently packing his bags and also packing our kids' stuff because he is going to leave to another state, all because I cheated on him with a mutual friend. My husband and I have been together for a while. No, I don't think there was any issues in the relationship or marriage whatsoever. I actually thought our life was pretty perfect, but then I decided to talk to one of our mutual friends, and one thing led to another.
Time out real fast. When women start to talk fast like this, they're trying to cover over details. Let's just take it back one quick second. So this woman said that she cheated on her husband with a mutual friend, right? More than likely, right? We talked about it. Probably the guy friend, right? The gentleman probably introduced somebody in the relationship at a Christmas party, at a barbecue. Hey, this is my boy, Jeff, right? And now Jeff is clapping his wife's cheeks. So I'll say this. She also said for a while, right? Like, how long is a while, ma'am? You know, women always try to soften the blow, right? Of trying to lessen the fact that they're bad people at times, right? And so, what's a while, ma'am? 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. She doesn't want to admit the fact that she completely flushed a 9, 10 year relationship down the drain to get banged out by Jeff. Fictional Jeff, right? We don't know the guy's name. But let's keep going.
Perfect, but then I decided to talk to one of our mutual friends, and one thing led to another. I think I was just really tired of the fact that my husband was constantly working to make sure that we had a roof over our heads and to make sure that everything was paid, and so I just felt very lonely, so I decided that I was just going to message his friend, you know, just like we are friends, nothing else, that was it, and then all of a sudden it just led to something else. I mean, at least I had the balls to actually tell my husband what was going on, because I could have kept it from him, you know, I could have just moved on without telling him shit. After I told him, I was very surprised about his reaction, because he was not freaking out or panicking. He just said, okay, and then he said he was going to pack his shit and go, but he was also going to take the kids. He was very demure, if I can say that word. Yes, I just thought he was going to accept the fact that I was cheating on him, and then we could just move on and, you know, continue with our perfect lives. But no, he instead chose that he wants to actually leave with our kids, and now I'm panicking.
What else did you expect?
You know, there's a lot there. But well, one, you know, shout out to the gentleman, right? You know, look, man, I told you guys, when you find out that like she's cheating, or, you know, she's going behind your back, maybe she's taking money out of the account, whatever it may be, right? No need to crash out, no need to give her more ammunition when you guys go to court, right? Just it's a wrap. I'm gonna get my stuff and I'm gonna go. So shout out to that gentleman. Now you got to be careful, right? Look, I'm not married. I've never been married. Never been through a divorce, obviously. So yeah, but you got to be careful taking the kids out of state, because yes, they are her kids too. So you got to be careful with that stuff. That could come back to bite him in the end once they decide to settle whatever alimony payments are going to be and split up some of the assets. It could come back to bite him in the behind when the child support case comes through. So the other thing, because this wonderful human being said some other stuff, but she talked about the perfect lives, right? Clearly, ma'am, it wasn't a perfect life, because you just said that this man was working too much and you weren't happy. Gentlemen, I don't know what to tell you anymore. Why do you continue to try to please these women? They are insatiable creatures, as they are, right? You can't change that. There's not enough gifts and houses and cars that you can get these women that will make them satisfied for the rest of their lives. It is impossible, right? This woman proves that. The other thing, right? So she says that she's shocked that he didn't fight for the marriage. Well, why should he, ma'am? Maybe he's comfortable understanding the fact that he's going to get divorced. And he's just like, well, no, I'm done. I'm done, right? Clearly, this was not a happy place.
Actually leave with our kids, and now I'm panicking.
What else did you expect? Wow. Can't imagine why he would...
Real quick, get back to the video. She's panicking because now her sense of security is broken, because more than likely Jeff, remember Jeff, right? The friend? Jeff just wanted to bust those cheeks. And he did. He got it. He's good. He's fine. He ain't trying to take care of this woman. He ain't trying to be no Homer Simpson, right? So she's panicking, not because she messed up, not because she really loved her husband. Notice in the video, there's no remorse. She's not like crying, saying, I'm sorry. I know we talk about women crying on the internet, but look, if you cheated on your husband, some sort of remorse. She's panicking because she doesn't have somebody else that she can jump to that can take care of her and those kids, right? Now, if this Simpson guy, Jeff Simpson, was like, hey, look, I'll take care of you and your family, right? Leave your husband, leave my boy, and I got you. she be saying a whole different story.
Leave? You can cheat on me anytime you want. Do you think your
Same.
husband is wrong by leaving you? I'm not sure if it's delusion or just a lack of understanding of what really happened in her marriage.
Right.
But getting upset that your husband chose to leave after you cheated is unbelievable.
Right.
She should be the first to understand his reaction, because cheating is already painful on its own. But when it involves a close friend, it becomes even more difficult and emotionally complex to process. And this is why her response left me genuinely confused. She seemed to expect too much from a man who had just been let down by two people he likely trusted deeply. That's what she should be focusing on, rather than being upset that he didn't want to work things out. What makes it even more surprising is the way she talks about the situation, almost as if it wasn't a big deal, like he should just be able to move on. But his actions clearly say otherwise. He took it seriously enough to walk away entirely. And judging by her video, she doesn't appear to feel genuine remorse for what happened. Something he probably noticed too.
I have like a personal fantasy about like mutually cheating.
Mutually cheating.
So it's just like I know I'm cheating on you and you're cheating on me, and like
But
we
it's
know
turning you
it.
on.
We know it.
Yeah, but it's not cheating.
And it's amazing, but at the end of the day we come back to each other.
I've never heard someone say it's my fantasy to get cheated on.
Really?
You ever cheated on?
No. I'm just saying, it's like, no, when I married someone, I wouldn't do it like now.
Oh, you want to be married and like cheat and it will turn you on, but he has to cheat as well.
Yeah.
So basically an open relationship.
Guys, gotta understand the fact that, look, women like bedtime fun too. And if you really dove in the minds and the psychology around women, I think a lot of men would, one, just not marry them. And I think two, or not even date them or get into relationships with with them. But I think a lot of them would just be turned off, right? You dive into the head of these women, you start to understand them. Look, man, a lot of them have some wild stuff. They've done wild stuff, but they got even crazier stuff in their head that they never even did yet, right? So this idea of an open relationship, whether she's considering swinging or whatever it may be, right? A lot of women have great fantasies, right? A lot of them have kind of stalker fantasies. You would be shocked, right? BDSM, whatever it may be, right? So it's not that uncommon. At least she's open about it, right? A lot of women try to play like, oh no, I would never. Nah, bruh. She got some dark stuff up here that excites her. I'm telling you.
That's called swinging.
Facts.
She's simply confused. She's mistaking cheating for an open relationship. If you want to be with someone where both partners are aware that they're seeing other people, that's not cheating. That's consensual. What she needs is to find someone who's genuinely open to that kind of relationship,
Right.
so they can be on the same page and live happily ever after.
Men can just go sleeping around with like 10 women and it's okay, but then if a woman does it, it's like bad.
How easy would you think it would be for you to go in there and sleep with 10 guys?
Very easily. I mean, because like guys willingly will just go up to you out of the blue.
For the average guy, like your friend that was just here,
Yeah.
how easy do you think it would be for him to sleep with 10 women?
If the guy is like some like gorgeous model, maybe
Sure.
he might.
I think if a guy could sleep with 10 women, the reason he's celebrated is because not a lot of guys can sleep with 10 women. There's a lot of guys that are virgins not by choice. Whereas like even the ugliest woman can sleep with a guy. So why celebrate you for something that's so easy to do?
Glitch. Glitch.
How do women not understand this?
People have talked about that in this space for eons, so I'm not going to dive too much into it, but 2 points, right? You see how when he asked her the question, like, how easy do you think it would be for him to sleep with 10 women? And she automatically went to looks. Women inevitably prove that 80-20, 80-15, whatever it is now, probably 90-10 rule that has permeated this space for years, right? People have talked about it. There's been research done on it. So she proved that, right? He has to be hot. He has to be rich. He has to be this. He has to be tall, right? But she went for looks. The other thing is she knows this, right? Go in any Walmart, any, I don't know, random grocery store and just look around and you'll see You'll see. Go to a mall in like the worst part of the city, and you'll be like, who got her pregnant? Right? Well, she has a vajayjay. Men will get anything pregnant, right?
When logic kicks in, priceless. That hit her like income tax after overtime. This is such a simple and straightforward concept, yet for some reason, some women either struggle to understand it or just refuse to accept it. They often try to make a point while overlooking the reality that for them, achieving certain things, especially in terms of attracting a guy, requires far less effort. On the other hand, a man typically has to bring significantly more to the table just to reach a similar level of success in that area. As we can see, she struggled with this idea too. For most of her life, she believed it was the same for both genders until the interviewer challenged that belief and proved otherwise. The good thing is that she was open-minded enough to receive the information without getting defensive. The best part was her facial expression when she realized she'd been wrong all this time.
Yeah, she glitched. I'm going to put it like this, right? Those of you who watch basketball, right? You always hear people in basketball talk about folks' road to the finals, right? Who had the toughest road to the finals, right? And people talk about Dirk Nowitzki and that Dallas Mavericks team from, was it like 2010, 2011? Can't remember the year, but people always put that run to the finals higher, right? Because it's like, yeah, you still got to the championship. You're still a championship winning team. So you got to the goal, but that road was a lot tougher. It was a lot harder. You had to go through a lot more obstacles. And that's why sometimes when you hear people talk about this, people tend to elevate that road to the finals because it was harder. He had to beat, a lot more people to get up there, right? He had to beat that Kobe team. He had to beat Westbrook and Durant on that OKC team, right? So same thing, right? The road to the chip is tougher for men. It ain't the same for other women, or for women, excuse me.
It was priceless. You could tell in that moment she was like, "You're right." I was a little surprised she didn't already know this. She's clearly not 21 anymore, and I expected someone of her age and maturity to have figured that out by now.
I feel like right now in the Black community, there's a lot of women choosing to be single. A lot of us feel like dating is not beneficial. We're better off just being alone because men are wicked and literally ruin our lives. Especially when you're a sacred woman and you're high value and spiritually anointed. It's like these men really come into your life and they see your light and they do everything in their power to destroy you and break you down to the point of insanity. And then they'll just leave you and discard you with no remorse, like you meant nothing to them, and they'll go on about their lives. And then when you had to pick yourself back up and you finally overcame all the things they put you through and you getting your light back, you getting your spark back, here they come. Here they come back trying to spin the block, to kick you down, to finish you off, bruh. It's like they're literally sent to destroy you. And the crazy thing about it is that they blame women for everything. Oh, it's the men that you're choosing. Not like it's men out here that's faking their whole intentions with women. They're literally baiting us. They're getting us to a point where they reel us in, and then they fake their whole intentions. They fake their whole persona. That whole mask comes off and they're a whole different person. They done switched up. They done flopped and folded. You know what I mean? And it's putting women in this position to where they have to protect their hearts, protect their wombs, extra protect it, extra guard yourself. You know what I mean? And it's like, because of this, it's starting to distort women's perception of love. It's like if a man sees that you're unhappy, he's going to do everything and go out of his way to make sure you're miserable. You will tell a man what makes you upset, what's your non-negotiables, what's your boundaries, and he'll make sure he'll do everything to break those things. It's like men do things on purpose to make us hate them.
This is exactly why therapy is so important.
Yeah, shout out to Modern Dating here. Real quick, shout out to this sister. She's telling her own experiences, right? Basically what she said was that she rode the cock carousel for however many years. and let all these dudes hit who didn't want to commit. She more than likely knew they didn't want to commit, and now she gone. And she's not ugly. She's pretty little light skin thing here, right? Light skin ting right here, right? So she's not bad, but what she's saying is that she let these guys bang her out, and now she ain't got nothing left. Now, are there men out there that will do that? For sure, right? So I do tell men, look, be honest with these girls. You know, tell them what it is up front, because once you blow her back out, my dude, she's yours, right? Once her legs, you know, hit that stiff position and start shaking, bro, she yours, right? At least for the time being. So I'll give her that. But are most men nasty and evil and trying to coerce women? No. Okay. Are women trying to coerce men? Yes. Women can't do it the same way, right? Because they don't have the brute strength. But women do it very subtly, right? They do it through a smile, through a glance, through a laugh, right? And they can manipulate that way. So, you know, I get what she's saying, but at the same point, ma'am, yes, you let these men into your life. You didn't vet these men, right? So instead of her taking that blame and that accountability, right, and growing and healing, you gotta heal, right? She wants to blame Pookie and Ray Ray. No, don't blame them. They are who they are. They ain't gonna change. It takes two to tango, but somebody has to open up the dance floor.
Ironically, the ones who need it most often don't even realize it. In her case, it's clear that past experiences with a few men have led her to develop a negative perception of all men. She now puts everyone in the same category because of the guys she dealt with before. This is what happens when you don't take the time to heal from your past. If she had experienced a healthy relationship, one where she was treated with care and respect, she probably wouldn't hold this opinion. Why are all men suddenly bad just because of the 3 Tyrones she dated? Most guys have nothing to do with that. That's the part she needs to understand. And deep down, I believe she knows it's not fair, because everyone shouldn't pay for what 2 or 3 guys did. This is the same as a man who had a bad experience with the woman he was dating, and after that relationship ended, he makes a video talking negatively about all women. It makes no sense, and I know she would agree, as all women aren't the same.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Some good points. I think, you know, look, this woman knows what it is, you know. I mean, women know what a good man is. Don't you ever let them portray like they don't, right? They know what a good man is, even if they may not have had one or chosen one, right? Because when they get a bad one, they for certainly know what a good man is, right? After Pookie bang her back out and leaves, they know what a good man is after that, right? They knew what it was before. They just wanted to have their fun, which it is what it is, right? But this is why you got to vet. Because look, this woman ain't knocking down my door. You know what I mean? You know, I treat her right, you know, have her home by 6, cooking, cleaning the floors, you know, right? But hey, you know, she gone though, man. She gone. So be careful, gentlemen. Watch your back. We're going to end the video there. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you, gentlemen, for tuning in, and the 12 women who watch my show. So I appreciate it. Folks, until next time, eat well, sleep well, be well. I'll see you guys later.